I'm thrilled. The other one I just did, I was like pushing my ear through the phone. I was putting it on speakerphone. I stood on my roof.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, this is crystal clear.
Beautiful, man. How are you today?
I'm really, really well. Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us.
My pleasure.
So I guess we should start off by saying we are so excited about you guys heading back to Australia, and I was wondering if you could start off by telling us a little bit about how you feel about heading back to our country and how this tour has come about for you.
Man, ATREYU loves Australia. It's been too long since we've been back. It's one of my favorite, and I think the band's favorite places to tour overall. But I'll just speak for myself and say it's probably my favorite international location because I'm kind of a homebody, and it just reminds me of so much of where I live in Southern California, just slightly different. You know what I mean? Just slightly enough to make it a little romantic for me. You know what I mean? It's just a great country. So, for example, my wife and I went to Australia for our honeymoon a million years ago when we got married. So I got love for you.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people say that Melbourne in particular is very much like California. What is it that makes our city so much like California?
I think Melbourne is, but I also think that Brisbane and Gold Coast really have that feel too. Maybe some of the palm trees and some of the bushes are a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yep.
But the general feel is very different. The vibe, the people's kind of relaxed. To me, it seems relaxed. I don't know how you guys look at each other. You know, in different cities, you're like, that guy's tense or not, but it seems very just a relaxed type atmosphere. Melbourne's the same, but when we're in Melbourne more, we're more. I feel like in like the city, and the big cities all feel similar to me, sort of. And actually, the Australian big cities, don't tell Los Angeles, are a lot nicer than Los Angeles.
Yeah. So does that mean when you're here, you like to actually get out and do some stuff aside from the shows as well? Like, do you like to head out into the cities and explore a little bit?
You know, the first couple times that we went, we were real big into the animal parks and things like that. And I think every time we go, we usually get one or two adventures in like that where you get to go see maybe some kangaroos or some wildlife kind of in more of a natural setting than we have in the U.S. And that's always nice. More like preserves, you know what I mean? So we do that sort of thing. And then I go to the gym usually every day, no matter where I'm at. And I like to walk sometimes. So I get like little foot tours of the city and the area that I'm in as I explore. Try to make my way to a fitness center.
Yeah. So what have you guys got planned for these shows? Because, of course, you haven't been to Australia since In Our Wake. So what have you guys got planned for these shows? Have you got something special planned?
I'm probably going to light myself on fire at least one of the nights. We're going to bring a great show. I mean, to be honest, we're flying across the world to come down there. So we're leaving the Iron Maiden type Eddie props at home, but we're bringing the guitars and we're ready to kick some ass.
Last year was such a big year for you guys, the 20th anniversary of the band. Tell us a little bit about how that felt, being able to go out and celebrate the 20 years, but also reflect over the band's history as well.
Oh, man, it was great. You know, it's gone by very, very fast. It feels like, they say when you're doing something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And they're fucking lying, because every now and then you have some long days, but for the most part, like, it's been incredible to look back and see all the things that we've got to do together, playing music, and I'm just really excited. Like you said, 2020 or 2019 was a real good year for us. Besides the 20-year anniversary, our record and The Time Is Now and House of Gold both did, I think, pretty well for us, and we had some real strong touring. So it was just a good year for the band. It felt great to have a good year coincide with the 20-year. To be 20 years in and still have a year where you feel like you're making headway and you're doing new things is great.
Yeah, I was going to say that because a lot of people said In Our Wake was your best album, and that was 20 years in. What do you put that secret down to? Because there are so many bands these days that come and go after 1 or 2 years, 3 or 4 at most. What did you put that secret down to actually lasting 20 years as a band?
Well, I mean, one thing is we're all good friends. We in the later years too, we've gotten better at communicating with each other as we've aged. We know each other better, you know.
Yep.
But I think also that like we're willing to scare ourselves musically. We're willing to we've always flirted in two worlds, like a more emotional rock type world, and then a more hardcore metal aggressive world. And I think we just blur the lines more and more with each record, and it just becomes more about emotion and less about what type of music. Does that make sense? It just becomes about like the emotion of the song. And that, I think that us surrendering to that years ago has helped us keep going. Each record that we make has the dial started to turn, you know, between each one. And then you go from the curse to death grip. We really started to kind of evolve and really try to feel things in a different way. And then you the big leap from death grip to Lead Sales, because there was also like 2 or 3 years in between those records. We have been like taking risks with our music and keeping it different and exciting for us for, you know, since before Lead Sales, I would say. You know what I mean? Like cognitively different things. So I think that helps us, you know, keep going and stay fresh, not being afraid to push it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, I've never sang that way before. Fucking let's give it a shot.
Yeah. When you say that you like to push it and you like to scare yourself a little bit, does that mean when you go into every album, you kind of have that mindset of, let's try something a little different here and see how it works out?
No, I go in there and I'm like, let's make, this is honest, I'm like, let's make a fucking super heavy, aggressive record that's not, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but I think like too one-dimensional. And then we like come up with these crazy songs that like scare the shit out of me, and I'm stoked because it's a better conveyance of the emotion and what we're trying to get across than me just going, and it being like a minute and a half and just blasting. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I like, you know, we scare myself in a way.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep the art sort of fresh and exciting. You got to catch yourself off guard, and you've got to be around other people who are willing to go down those rabbit holes and see where it leads.
Yeah. When you were actually looking back over that 20 years, where were you 20 years before that? Did you actually think when you started the band that 20 years later you guys would still be touring and still making great music? Or did you think at the time that this is not something that's going to last that 20 years?
You know, I never put that much thought into it. I've always, with the band, I live as a person really in the moment, which is sort of a downfall sometimes for me. But especially when I was younger, I was very just, what's you know, not even tomorrow, I was just rocking today to the best of my ability, you know? But I think we had that nose down to the pavement, to the grindstone work ethic, you know, without looking up for so long that we were already 10 years in before I looked up and was like, fuck, we've been doing this 10 years. You know, that's crazy. We'll keep going, you know?
Yeah. So, that 20 years, you guys have produced such great music. How do you go now about picking a set list for a tour like Australia, somewhere that you don't come to all that often? So how do you pick your set list going over 20 years of great music?
Spotify.
Yeah.
Someone in the band who is better at technology than me, they go into Spotify, I think, and they look up the region, like Australia or wherever we're going to be, and we basically plot most of it based on what the fans or people coming to the show want to hear. If everybody in Australia wants to hear, you know, songs X, Y, and Z, it would be stupid for us to not play X, Y, and Z. Like, you go to the show to get that gratification. We want to give it to you. We want to have a great show. We like those songs too. So that's usually what we do. And obviously, if we have a new record or something, we want to play new songs. It's exciting for us. We've been lucky that with this last cycle, The Time Is Now and House of Gold did really, really well, and they went off just like old songs.
Yeah. Does that ever surprise you with which tracks are listened to in what country? Because I know with Australia has this very unique kind of thing we've found in radio over the years where an album will come out and fans will absolutely love an album that's a song that's not a single, so radio stations will add it to the playlist, and then when the band comes to play, they're like, oh, that was just an album track, how come it's so popular in Australia? Do you get those kinds of things when you look at those stats and find little surprises like that in there?
You know, I would be lying if I told you I even knew how to open Spotify and find this information.
Yeah.
That's 100% like Dan or other dudes in my band who finds out that. But I think that's a cool thing. I think that makes it unique. It's its own characteristic, you know. And often there's a couple songs that maybe aren't like focus tracks or singles that we really enjoy that we wouldn't have the chance to play otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's great to have that chance to play those tracks. So I think it's great.
Yeah. Now, we were talking before about music and being creative. Where are you guys at with any new music at the moment? Because it has been a little while now since In Our Wake. So are you guys already starting to work on some new music?
Yeah, we're halfway through, or maybe more than halfway through a new record. We just spent 3 weeks recording again with our producer, John Feldman, who did Lead Sales and he did In Our Wake. And we're going to go back in, I think, in April and do like 2 or 3 more weeks with him, which is a huge amount for us. No matter what, we write and record one song every day. Sometimes this last recording session, we did like 2 songs a day. So we have a shitload of songs to choose from, and we're going to only write more. So yeah, man, we're going for it. We'll have new music out by the end of 2020, hopefully by the end of summer, but lots of other things going on.
Yeah, definitely. When you say about choosing songs for the album when you've written so many, how do you go about doing that? Because isn't that kind of like choosing your favorite child as well, like trying to pick which ones go on and which ones don't?
Yeah, usually it can get kind of hard. I'm surprised that for this record, and some of the dudes in my band, I think, are more like, no, I like that one, it's going to be on it. No, I like that one, it's going to be on it. And then they said that about 18 of the 19 songs. So I think there is an element of like having to pick your favorite kid. For me, I'm super picky, so it's easier for me a little bit. But that being said, it's interesting. There's 1 or 2 songs already for us that we're all kind of like, I don't know about that one. It was cool when we wrote it, but I remember things about all these other songs, or I'll be at home and like one of the songs we wrote will come into my head, but it's not that way about, maybe this other song. That's how we kind of know the easy ones that don't make it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, Alex, I got to say, we're so excited that you guys are going to have a new album coming out. I cannot wait, but I know we're running out of time, so I'll quickly ask before I go, is there anything you would like to say to your Australian fans out there before they go out and grab tickets for these shows?
Hey, we're super excited. We've always had a great time playing shows down under a beautiful country, and I think that right now there's so much crappy stuff going on all over the world. I live in Southern California, a place that has a bunch of crappy wildfires all the time. So in a small way, I can relate to some of the horrible shit going on in Australia. So I hope that we can bring a fun night, and maybe there's some people who've been affected by all this horrible crap that's going on, and they can come out and have a good time with us and forget about that. That's what our music and music in general is supposed to be, an escape and an outlet for all the terrible shit, or a celebration of all the good shit, if you will.
Definitely. Well, mate, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've been a huge fan of your music for such a long time. It's been great chatting to you.
Hey, thanks so much for the kind words. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Okay, mate, I'll see you then. You have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, thanks.
All right. Bye.